Wolverine racing. All right, guys and gals, we're back. I know it's been a little while since we made a video. Been doing a lot of work to the dragster, Wolverine 2. We're getting closer and closer every day. We got our rear end all cleared up, ready to go. I know what gears we got in there now. 410s. Got the brakes all cleaned up and ready to go. Got us a new Ron Davis radiator with a new fan. So all that should be really good. The cooling system should work well. Trans cooler's all cleaned up and ready to go. Think I got the carburetor squared away. We'll find out. It's kind of an old piece, but I think it's going to work. Got some new wires put on it. New cap and rotor. Put some new lines on the crankcase evac. I'm in the process of putting new braided lines on the cooling system now. Cleaned up the fill for the cooling system. Put a little paint on that. Working on the front of the block now. Got the water pump all ready to go. I got to pull the motor plate off because I want to redo the seals between the motor plate and the front of the motor because I'm sure they're old and need to be done. I'm not going to chance that leaking first time we take it out. Got all the wiring pretty much squared away on it. Went through everything, redid all the connections. Got the new batteries in it, the hold down. Had a couple of wires to change there. I got all new wires for the battery connection. But I took all those wires apart, went through them, cleaned them up. Redid the foot box. The grip tape that was in there was just horrible. It was all worn down to nothing. Everything was dirty and nasty, so took everything apart, cleaned it all up. Put some new grip tape down there. Came out pretty nice. It's the old steering wheel. Got a new steering wheel for it. Got some brand new slicks for it. Got the rims cleaned up on the back side. Just got to swap the tires on it, and I'll clean the rims up on the front side, the good side. Right now I'm putting the seat together. Got the seat in the car. I had a cushion made for it, a new seat cushion made, which came out really nice, but it's a little too big, a little too long. So I'm gonna make some extension pieces to put on the sides of the seats so that we can use that whole cushion. I think that'll make him a lot more comfortable in the car. I know it'd make me a lot more comfortable. Fuel pump works good. It's an old B&G fuel pump. I actually found a new fuel filter for it. Bought it, put it in there. Cleaned up a lot of stuff on the motor and the transmission. Took the fluid out of the transmission and the rear end. Everything looked clean as a whistle. Put fresh fluid back in it. Changed the oil on the motor. What I've learned about the motor so far is that it should be a 540. It should be close to 14-to-1 compression. It's a gas motor. I guess that's kind of unfortunate. I'd much rather it be on alcohol, but it's not. So we'll run it on gas for a little while and hopefully get everything squared away, and then we might swap it over to alcohol if everything works out good. The suspensions, everything seems to be good on it. Took everything apart, went through it. Everything seems to be good. It's got a nice anti-roll bar on it. Timmy's got most of the panels. He's buffing them out, waxing them. Got the new front tires. I'll put those on probably this Saturday. Put a new coil on it. So we're making good progress. I'll get the seat hopefully squared away today. Get that buttoned up. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for air for the shifter, whether or not I'm going to get an onboard compressor for it or use some tanks for a while. It's got the mount and all for the tanks, but I'm not going to trust that radiator. It's just old and it's been on the car a long time, it looks like, so we'll get a new one if we're going to go that route. Put some new switches in it. It's coming along good. Coming along very good, I think. Hopefully 3 or 4 weeks we'll have it out at the track doing some test hits, getting the bugs ironed out, getting Timmy used to the car, and we'll see how it goes from there. Went to Cruising the Coast this past weekend, or weekend before. Had a great time. Spent 4 days there. The only hiccup was Biloxi PD sort of had traffic a mess in Biloxi. I'm not sure what transpired to make them do that, but that was an absolute nightmare trying to get through there. It took us about 4.5 hours to get from Bay St. Louis to the other side of Biloxi and back to Bay St. Louis, which is a long time when you're sitting in a car idling, that doesn't want to idle, it wants to run. Had a lot of fun purging the nitrous. I got to get my nitrous bottles filled up now, though. And I don't know if you guys have bought nitrous lately, but it is expensive right now. I think local to us, it's like $130 to fill a bottle, which is crazy. But I guess we need it. I've been replacing a lot of the bolts on this car. They had pretty much everything was grade 8 hardware, but it was just old and oxidized. And while I'm going through it, I'm putting new grade 8 hardware on everything. Trying to make it as updated and as safe as possible. I know the car hasn't been down the track in a long time. But I'm very hopeful from what I've seen that it's going to go right down the track and everything will be good. Got a new parachute for it. I'll mount that up soon. Watched a couple videos the other day on how to fold one. Didn't look too difficult. I'm sure I'll have fun doing it the first time, but after that it shouldn't be too bad. So hopefully you guys will see us at the track with this thing real soon. I'm thinking in 2 weeks or so we should be able to fire everything up, warm everything up, make sure everything goes into gear right, and get the idle quality right, and make sure all the gauges work. I'm not sure about the delay box. We'll have to see about that. It's got kind of a worn screen in there. It's kind of discolored. So I'm thinking it's probably not going to work very well. Which if it doesn't, it's not a problem. I'll just put a new one in it. Got some lights to put around the car for inside the cockpit. And in areas that we work in, like where the ignition box is, they had a light there, which I think is really smart. If you want to go in there and change those chips, you turn that light on and see everything you want to do. So far, though, everything's coming out good. Got the new seat belts in it. Like I said, getting ready to put the new steering wheel on, put the seat in, the seat cover, get those extensions made, and then I'll be making a bunch of braided lines. Got 2 coolant lines to make. Go from the water pump to the radiator and then back to the fill port. And then we'll change some of the fuel lines. But all in all, I don't think that's going to be too bad. Can't wait to fire it up and drive it around a little bit and get Timmy behind the wheel making some test hits and hopefully make a race before the end of the year. That would be great. Getting ready to go outside too and put some new plugs in IPS. All that idling during Cruising the Coast, I bet that car idled for 7 or 8 hours in that traffic. So I know it needs new plugs. Gonna do that tonight too. Well, hope to see y'all at the track real soon. We will be at Gulfport Dragway first weekend in November. I think that's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys come out and look for us there. Wolverine out.